Welcome to Zoe Stories. Mom said, just try it once. Now I'm her perfect daughter. That thought haunted me most mornings as I trudged through my tiny, cluttered bedroom. Sunlight barely filtered through the thin curtains, painting the room in soft gold, yet it did nothing to warm the knot in my chest. At 20, I was ordinary. Too ordinary, maybe. My hair was a forgettable brown, my eyes a dull shade of hazel, and my body was, well, just there. I moved through life like a shadow, easy to overlook, easy to forget. School had ended years ago, but college wasn't any better. The same walls, the same faces, the same silent, crushing weight of invisibility. People rarely noticed me. Friends were scarce, and intimacy even scarcer. Every night, I stared at my reflection in the cracked mirror above my dresser and whispered to myself, is this all there is? Am I doomed to fade into nothing? It wasn't that I hated being a boy. Not entirely. But there was this persistent ache, an empty space I couldn't name. I wanted something else. Something I couldn't define. And deep down, I suspected my mother had noticed that.
Mom.
She had always been sharp, radiant, a force of life in our otherwise gray world. At 38, she had the kind of beauty that made people stop and stare. Her hair, long and glossy, cascaded over her shoulders in waves. Her voice could be soft and nurturing or sharp and commanding, sometimes both at once. She saw me more than anyone else ever had. Maybe that was why I both loved and feared her. It was a Saturday afternoon when it began. I was slouched on the couch, scrolling aimlessly through my phone, when she appeared in the doorway. Mom rarely knocked. She just arrived. I need to talk to you, she said, voice calm but with that underlying authority I'd always obeyed. Okay. I mumbled, not looking up. She walked over and sat beside me, her perfume, soft, floral, slightly intoxicating, filling my senses. I tensed instinctively. I've been thinking, she began, tilting her head in that almost imperceptible way that meant she had a plan. You've been quiet, withdrawn, lonely. I know you feel invisible sometimes. I glanced at her, surprised. She always knew how to say the right words to make me squirm. How could she know? I want to help you break out of that shell, she continued, voice gentle now, almost coaxing. There's an experience I want you to try. Just once. No one will ever know, and it might change the way you see yourself. I furrowed my brow. Try what? She smiled, that small, knowing smile that made me uneasy. Something fun. Something freeing. Something that will let you explore a side of yourself you've never dared to touch. Mom, what are you talking about? I asked cautiously. She reached for my hand, her touch warm but insistent. I want you to dress like a girl. Just once. I'll help you. I'll guide you. I promise you'll see you might even enjoy it. I froze. My pulse raced. My mind screamed. Dressing like a girl? Are you serious? Yes, she said, soft but unyielding. Just once. I want you to try it for me. For yourself. It's an experiment. A chance to discover something new about who you are. I shook my head, heart hammering. I can't. That's insane. She leaned closer, eyes locking with mine, and whispered, you can and you will. Don't think of it as losing yourself. Think of it as finding a part of yourself you've been hiding. Trust me. There it was again, the trust, the pull, the magnetic force of her presence. I wanted to say no, I wanted to resist, but part of me wanted to see, wanted to know. Just try it once, she repeated. If you hate it, you'll never do it again. But if you're willing, you might discover something beautiful. Beautiful. That word hung in the air. And suddenly, I didn't know if she meant me, the clothes, or the reflection that awaited me in the mirror. Reluctantly, I nodded. Oh, okay, once. But that's it. Her smile widened, and for the first time in years, a thrill shot through me. A mixture of fear, anticipation, and something I couldn't name. That's all I ask, she said. Just once. Follow me. She led me to the guest room, which she had already transformed into a mini sanctuary of femininity, soft pink curtains, a vanity littered with makeup, delicate lace lingerie neatly folded, and shoes of every conceivable style neatly arranged. My stomach churned. This was real. Mom handed me a silky blouse and a pleated skirt. "Start with these," she instructed. Her voice was calm, but there was no room for debate. "Take your time. Explore. I'll help you if you need it." I trembled as I changed, my hands clumsy and unsure. The fabric felt alien against my skin, soft and cool. I caught a glimpse of myself in the full-length mirror. My reflection was different. My jawline seemed sharper, my shoulders smaller, my frame somehow more delicate. I barely recognized myself. Mom came around and adjusted my blouse, smoothing it over my shoulders. "Beautiful," she murmured. "You're doing wonderfully." Her praise made my chest tighten. "Beautiful? That's me? That can't be." "You'll need shoes," she continued, presenting a pair of low heels. "Walk in them. Feel them. Own them." I wobbled, taking tentative steps. Each one was awkward, humbling, thrilling. I stumbled once, and she caught me effortlessly, her hand warm on my waist. "Don't be afraid. You're safe. You're perfect." Perfect. Another word I'd never imagined for myself. By the end of the afternoon, I was sitting on the edge of the bed, trembling, exhausted, and strangely exhilarated. Mom knelt beside me, brushing a strand of hair from my face. "How do you feel?" she asked softly. I swallowed, unsure. I don't know. Strange. Embarrassed. But not entirely bad. Her smile was victorious. "Good. That's the first step. Just remember, this isn't about being a boy or a girl. It's about discovering the person you're meant to be, even if you didn't know they existed before." I nodded silently, heart pounding, staring at the mirror. My reflection stared back, and I barely recognized the nervous, trembling figure. Could this really be me? As night fell, I returned to my room, but my thoughts didn't. They swirled relentlessly. Who am I? What am I feeling? What did Mom see in me that I didn't? And somewhere deep in my chest, a new, terrifying curiosity had awakened. What if I wanted more? As I drifted off to sleep that night, I didn't realize Mom was watching from the doorway, a mysterious, unreadable expression on her face. And in the quiet of the room, I felt the first subtle pull of a journey I could never take back. The next morning, I woke with a strange heaviness in my chest. The previous day's events haunted me in ways I couldn't name. The silk of the blouse, the swish of a skirt, the gentle praise of my mom. It all played over in my mind like a film I didn't want to admit I enjoyed. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at my reflection in the mirror. My hair still felt soft, too soft, when I ran my fingers through it. My skin still tingled from the touch of the fabric. I couldn't stop remembering the way Mom had called me beautiful, that word echoing in my mind. Beautiful? Me? Before I could spiral further, there was a knock on my door. "Breakfast is ready," Mom's voice called softly. Then, almost casually, she added, "And after, we'll continue. I want to show you a few things. Nothing scary, I promise." I froze, heart pounding. "Continue? Show me what?" My mind raced, but curiosity, the same dangerous curiosity from yesterday, won. At the kitchen table, she sat across from me, stirring her coffee with deliberate calm. "You did wonderfully yesterday," she said, eyes locking with mine. "I know it wasn't easy. You looked different, yes, but in a way that was undeniably you." I felt my cheeks heat. Different. Undeniably me. The contradiction twisted in my chest. "You have potential," she continued, voice smooth as velvet. "Potential to be more than ordinary. To command attention, to be noticed, to be admired. Don't you want that?" I swallowed hard. The idea terrified me. To be admired, yes. But in that way? Dressed like a girl? Exposed? I don't know," I stammered. Mom's eyes softened, but her tone held steel beneath the warmth. "That's why we start small. Just one more step today. We won't rush." but it's time to explore further. Are you ready to trust me? I hesitated. My mind screamed to refuse, yet the memory of yesterday's strange exhilaration nudged me forward. "Oh, okay," I whispered, my voice barely audible. "I'll try." A triumphant smile touched her lips. "Good. That's all I ask. One step at a time." She led me back to the guest room, now bathed in soft afternoon light. The air smelled faintly of rose petals and something sweet I couldn't name, Mom's perfume, lingering on the air on her. She opened the closet, revealing an array of delicate outfits I hadn't dared imagine. "Today, we'll refine your look," she said, gently pulling out a flowing pastel dress. "Something soft, elegant, but not overwhelming. You'll wear it, and I'll help you with your first real makeup session." My stomach churned at the thought. Makeup. I had never touched any cosmetics before. Yesterday had been terrifying enough. But the subtle thrill that rose with fear was impossible to ignore. "Sit," Mom instructed, patting the chair at the vanity. Her hands moved deftly, organizing brushes, powders, and lip colors. "You'll learn to transform not just how you look, but how you feel. Confidence comes from control, and right now, I'll guide you." I watched nervously as she handed me the dress. The fabric felt impossibly soft, caressing my skin as I slipped it on. Mom's hands lingered to adjust the hem, the shoulders, smoothing every crease. "There," she said, her tone both commanding and gentle. "See how delicate you can look?" I shivered. Not from the fabric, but from her eyes. Those piercing eyes that seemed to see through me, through every secret, every hidden thought. Then came the makeup. Mom held a brush and gently touched my cheek. "Relax," she said. "Just follow my lead." The first swipe of powder on my face felt alien, yet strangely intimate. She worked patiently, blending foundation, subtle blush, and a hint of eyeshadow. Every movement was precise, almost reverent. I couldn't look away. I caught my reflection in the mirror and barely recognized myself. My eyes seemed wider, softer. My lips fuller, more defined. "You're beautiful," Mom whispered, leaning close. Her breath warmed my ear. "Do you see it?" I shook my head, breathless. I don't know. It's strange." "Strange is good," she said softly. "It means you're experiencing something real, something new. And new is where growth begins." By the time we finished, I looked like her creation. A girl. A delicate, beautiful girl I didn't know existed. My heart pounded, chest tight. The excitement mixed with embarrassment, shame, and something darker, something forbidden that made my skin tingle. Mom studied me like a sculptor admiring her work. "Now," she said, "we practice movement. Posture, gestures, walking, everything matters." The next hour was a blur of awkward stumbles, corrected steps, and suppressed laughter. She was both teacher and dominator, guiding every movement while never letting me forget I was under her control. Every misstep drew a soft admonishment, every success a gentle praise. I felt small, exposed, and strangely alive. Finally, she clapped her hands softly. "Time for your first public test." My stomach sank. "Public? Already?" She smiled, eyes sparkling with mischief and authority. "Don't worry. Just a quick trip to the corner cafe. Just us. People will see you, but you'll feel how powerful it is to be noticed." I nodded hesitantly, clutching the folds of my dress. My legs trembled as we stepped outside. The sunlight felt different on my skin. The streets looked sharper, brighter. And I felt naked. Every head that turned, every subtle glance, made my cheeks burn. I caught a man's eyes lingering for a second too long. My pulse spiked. I felt exposed, yet part of me craved it. Mom linked her arm with mine, guiding me through the small crowd. "You're doing beautifully," she murmured. Her voice was a tether, grounding me, yet also a reminder of her control. At the cafe, the barista smiled warmly at me. "Good afternoon, miss. What can I get for you?" The word "miss" pierced me. My lips trembled, but I whispered, "Si cappuccino, please." Mom's eyes met mine, triumphant. Hear that? That's the world seeing you as you. Your new self. I sank into the chair, heart racing, mind spinning. Part of me wanted to flee, rip off the dress, and reclaim the boy I had been. But another part, a deeper, terrifying part, wanted to linger, wanted to feel the gaze, the attention, the strange thrill of being beautiful. And I knew, without a doubt, that this was only the beginning. As we left the cafe, a familiar voice called out from behind. I froze, my stomach dropping. Someone I hadn't seen in years, a boy from school, was staring at me, eyes wide, mouth agape. Recognition. Panic. Embarrassment. And the pull of a new identity. I wasn't ready to surrender. The walk back from the cafe felt unreal. Every step in my heels sent shivers up my legs, and the faint brush of my skirt against my thighs made me hyper-aware of every movement. My reflection in shop windows followed me like a stranger, delicate, feminine, and impossibly fragile. Mom's hand rested lightly on my elbow, steadying me, guiding me, asserting her silent control. See, she said softly, the world notices you now. You're not invisible anymore. I swallowed hard. She was right. Every glance from passers-by, every slight nod of acknowledgement made my chest swell with a strange mix of pride and humiliation. I wanted to shrink away, hide under my old skin, but part of me, a deeper, more dangerous part, wanted to lean into it. When we returned home, Mom didn't allow me a moment to breathe. She had already laid out a new set of clothes, a tighter dress, more delicate, paired with stockings and slightly higher heels. Today, we refine your posture and movement, she said. Tomorrow, we'll add your first real outing without me. You'll start feeling the world differently, like a girl should. My stomach churned. Outing without her? Alone? The thought terrified me. But the mixture of fear and anticipation had become addictive. She handed me the dress. The fabric was soft against my skin, clinging to every curve, highlighting the lines of my shoulders and hips. I shivered. Not from the cold, but from the awareness of how my body now moved differently. Even the way my chest felt against the tight fabric made me conscious in ways I had never imagined. Mom knelt beside me, adjusting my stockings, brushing imaginary wrinkles from my dress. Every detail matters, she whispered. Every step, every glance, every sway. You're learning to be perfect. Perfect. The word echoed in my mind, both intoxicating and suffocating. I caught my reflection in the mirror again. My eyes, wide and shimmering, stared back. My lips slightly parted, flushed from nervous anticipation, from the thrill of being watched, even if only by Mom. Let's work on your walk, she said. One step at a time. Smooth, graceful. Imagine you're floating. I tried, trembling, my balance faltering, heels clicking awkwardly on the hardwood floor. Mom's hand steadied me with a firmness that left no room for argument. No, like this, she corrected, guiding my hips subtly. Relax your shoulders. Lift your chin. You look fragile, but strong. Understand? Yes, I whispered, voice barely audible. Good. Again. For the next hour, I stumbled, fell, laughed nervously, and cried silently. My pride clashed with humiliation. I wanted to resist, to scream, to rip the dress off, but I couldn't. Mom's presence was magnetic, commanding, and suffocating all at once. Every correction she offered, every smile of approval, tethered me further into her world. After the walking practice, she moved to my voice. You must speak like a girl. Soft, melodic, but confident. Every word you say changes how people perceive you. I hesitated. I don't know how. Listen to me, she said, tilting her head. Repeat after me. And so I did. The sound of my own voice, higher-pitched, lilting, shy yet assertive, made me cringe and tremble. Each word felt foreign, and yet, with Mom's approval, addictive. By mid-afternoon, we moved to a small outing, just a walk down the block. But this time, Mom didn't hold my hand. I was on my own, stepping into the world as a girl. The first few minutes were terrifying. I felt exposed, hyper-aware of every gaze, every glance, every whisper. My heart pounded, and my mind screamed to flee. Yet something shifted. When a passerby smiled warmly at me, or when a store clerk addressed me with respect and admiration, a strange thrill coursed through me. Pride? Shame? Excitement? It was impossible to separate them. I felt powerful. Fragile, yet powerful. Returning home, I collapsed on the bed, exhausted, trembling. Mom entered quietly, observing me with that piercing gaze. "You did wonderfully," she whispered. "Do you see what I meant? You're not the same boy anymore. You're becoming someone unforgettable." I closed my eyes, tears slipping down my cheeks. My chest ached, not from exertion, but from the emotional turbulence swirling inside me. Pride, fear, shame, desire, all tangled together. Mom sat beside me, brushing my hair gently, whispering praise, and yet I felt trapped in her web, unable to disentangle myself. The following days blurred into an endless cycle of dressing, walking, speaking, and practicing. Mom's control grew more apparent, her expectations higher. She introduced subtle humiliation, correcting me in front of mirrors, pointing out flaws, rewarding obedience with soft praise. Every day, I felt my old self slipping further away, replaced by a reflection I barely recognized. Then came the first real test, a small gathering with a few family friends. Mom instructed me meticulously what to wear, how to smile, how to hold myself. My stomach turned with anxiety. What if they recognize me? What if they laugh? What if I can't do it? But when I walked into the room, the reaction stunned me. Compliments, admiration, whispers of how elegant and beautiful I looked. Every word pierced me with embarrassment, yet stirred a dangerous thrill deep inside. I felt seen. Truly seen. Mom's eyes met mine across the room. Her smile was triumphant. "Do you feel it?" she whispered when I returned to her side. "This is the power you can wield. Your beauty, your presence, it commands attention." I nodded silently, heart racing, mind spinning. I wanted to protest, to scream, to run back to my old life, but I couldn't. The pull of this new identity, the intoxicating mix of control, shame, and desire, held me captive. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. I was already falling. Later that night, I caught my reflection in the hallway mirror and barely recognized the girl staring back. My shoulders were smaller, my posture elegant, my lips full and flushed. And then I noticed it, my old self, faintly reflected beneath, almost hidden, whispering, "Who are you becoming?" The following morning, I woke with a strange sense of anticipation. The previous day's experiences, dressing, walking, speaking, had begun to embed themselves into my very body. I could feel it in the way I held my spine, the subtle sway of my hips, even the delicate tremor in my hands. And yet, despite all this, there was one step I had been dreading most: real makeup mastery. Mom appeared at my door with that familiar confident smile, her presence both comforting and terrifying. "Today," she said softly, yet firmly, "we begin the art of transformation. Your face, your hands, your posture, all of it matters. We'll make the world stop when it sees you." I swallowed, heart hammering. Stop the world? I barely recognized the person staring back at me from the mirror. My reflection had already begun to shift, softer features, wider eyes, full lips, and delicate curves. And yet, beneath it all, a trace of the boy I had been lingered like a shadow. "Sit," she instructed, guiding me to the vanity. "Relax your shoulders. Feel your face. Every brushstroke matters." The process began gently. Foundation, concealer, subtle blush. My skin tingled under the delicate brushes, and every swipe of color felt foreign, intimate, and strangely thrilling. I could feel my pulse quicken as Mom leaned close, whispering corrections with a tone that was equal parts authority and affection. "Blend here," she murmured, guiding my trembling hand. "Don't rush. You must own your face, every inch." Hours passed in a haze of powder, pigment, and reflection. Eyeliner, mascara, eyeshadow. The final touches were the hardest. My hands shook, my breath came fast, and yet I found myself leaning into it, craving the precision, the control, the beauty that seemed to bloom beneath Mom's watchful gaze. Finally, she applied a soft, glossy lipstick. She leaned close, tilting my chin gently, and whispered, "Now look." I stared at the mirror and almost gasped. The boy I had been seemed utterly gone. In his place, a delicate, elegant, almost ethereal girl stared back, wide eyes, full lips, soft skin, perfectly framed hair. My cheeks burned with embarrassment, yet a thrill coursed through me. I had never felt so exposed, so vulnerable, and yet so alive. Mom's eyes glittered with triumph. "Beautiful," she breathed. "You see it now, don't you? This is who you can be. Strong, soft, powerful, irresistible." I could only nod, too breathless to speak. Her words struck me deeply, equal parts praise and assertion. I felt both seen and controlled, held captive by her power and my own growing fascination. Then came the public test. "You are ready," Mom said, slipping a delicate hand into mine. "We go out, and you'll see the world as I see you. The reaction, it will change you." My stomach twisted. We stepped into the sunlight, the city alive around us. Every eye that turned, every subtle glance, made me acutely aware of my body, my posture, my face. I felt naked, exposed, yet undeniably noticed. A woman passed, smiling warmly. "What a lovely young lady," she said. My cheeks flamed, and I whispered a shy "thank you," surprised by the melody of my own voice. Mom's hand squeezed mine gently. "Do you feel it? Power, attention, desire. They see you for what you are, beautiful, elegant, unforgettable." A man at a nearby cafe looked up from his phone and blinked at me, his gaze lingering. My pulse spiked. Humiliation, excitement, fear, every emotion collided at once. I wanted to run, hide, scream, and yet, somewhere deep inside, I wanted to be seen, to be admired, to be called beautiful again. We wandered through shops, each glance, each compliment, further dissolving the boundaries of my old self. The boy I had been, the shy, invisible, awkward boy, was fading, replaced by someone entirely new. Someone vulnerable, delicate, yet dangerously captivating. At one boutique, Mom guided me to a mirror and adjusted my hair. "Walk around," she instructed. "Notice how people react. Notice yourself." I hesitated, then stepped forward. Heads turned, whispers floated. My legs wobbled at first, then found a rhythm. Every step, every sway, every glance in the mirror solidified a truth I could no longer deny. I was becoming her creation. A familiar voice called from across the boutique. My heart froze. It was Mark, a boy I had known from school. His eyes widened in shock, disbelief, and a spark of recognition. My lips parted, and I felt the old panic rise, threatening to undo everything. Mom leaned close, her hand brushing against mine. "Don't be afraid," she whispered. "Own it. You are more than he remembers. You are perfect. Let him see you now." I forced a smile, trembling, my pulse hammering. The thrill of exposure, the humiliation, and the undeniable beauty of my reflection collided in a whirlwind. I realized, with a mixture of fear and excitement, that there was no turning back. By the time we returned home, my body was exhausted, my mind a storm of emotions. Pride, shame, desire, embarrassment, and a hint of dark curiosity, an addictive cocktail that left me dizzy and trembling. Mom guided me to my room, brushing my hair softly, whispering praise. "You did wonderfully," she said. "Today, the world has seen you, and soon it will only see her." I sank onto the bed, tears threatening to spill. I was frightened, exhilarated, and utterly dependent on her. I knew, deep down, that this was only the beginning. My old self, already fragile, was slipping further away with every step, every glance, every whispered word of approval. And I didn't know if I wanted to stop it. Later that night, I caught my reflection in the mirror once again. The girl staring back at me was undeniably me. And yet, in the shadow beneath, a faint trace of the boy I had been whispered. Who are you becoming? The next morning, I woke with a strange mixture of dread and anticipation. The past few days had already transformed me, but I could feel a subtle tension coiling inside me, an invisible cord pulling me towards something I didn't fully understand. Mom was waiting at my door, radiant as ever, her hair perfectly in place, eyes gleaming with purpose. Today, she said softly, yet with unshakable authority, we take another step. You've learned to walk, to speak, to wear makeup, but it's time to test your presence in the world. Alone. Without me holding your hand. My stomach nodded. Alone? The thought terrified me. Yet I had tasted the power, the thrill of being noticed. And a part of me, deep, secret, forbidden, hungered for it. She guided me to the vanity and handed me an outfit, a short, delicate dress, paired with sheer stockings and heels higher than any I had worn before. My hands shook as I slipped it on. The fabric hugged me, emphasizing curves I had never had before. My chest heaved, pulse racing, and I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. The reflection made my breath catch. The girl staring back at me was undeniably real, undeniably beautiful. But beneath it, the boy I had been whispered faintly, uneasy and fearful. Who are you becoming? Mom knelt beside me, brushing my hair back from my face. You're perfect, she whispered. Every step you take today, the world will see it. And you will feel it. Don't fight it. Embrace it. Let yourself be admired, even humiliated. That is where transformation lives. Humiliation. The word sent shivers through me. I wanted to protest, to tear the dress off, to flee. But when I met her gaze, I faltered. The control, the authority, and the magnetic pull of her presence was undeniable. We stepped outside. The air was crisp, alive with the bustle of the city. Every head that turned, every glance, made my cheeks burn. I felt exposed, vulnerable. Yet, I wanted it. Part of me craved it. Mom's hand brushed against mine briefly. Remember, she whispered, every reaction you receive is part of your lesson. Notice how the world sees you now. Own it. At the first cafe, I faltered. A man's gaze lingered too long, and my knees felt weak. I whispered a timid hello when he addressed me, voice higher, softer, trembling. The thrill of exposure and embarrassment collided inside me, leaving me dizzy. Mom's eyes held mine, gentle yet commanding. Do not shrink. Do not look away. You are beautiful, and the world should see it. Say thank you. I obeyed, voice shaking, cheeks flaming. And in that moment, a dangerous truth settled inside me. I enjoyed it. The attention, the humiliation, the delicate praise, it intoxicated me. Later, we visited a boutique. Mom guided me to the mirror and instructed me to pose. I wobbled, my heels unfamiliar, my movements awkward. A group of women nearby whispered and glanced. My face burned, and yet I held the pose, trembling. See? Mom whispered. They notice you. You're commanding attention, even in your awkwardness. That is power. The next encounter was worse or better, depending on perspective. A man, unmistakably familiar, stopped and stared. His eyes widened, and I froze. It was Jake, someone I had known from school, who had always teased me mercilessly. Now, in the delicate dress, stockings, and heels, I was undeniable. Jake's gaze flicked between recognition and disbelief. Wait, is that? I felt my stomach twist. Panic, fear, and a strange thrill surged. Mom's hand found mine, steadying me. Own it, she whispered. You are more than he remembers. You are perfect. Let him see it. I forced a trembling smile, heart hammering, legs wobbling in the unfamiliar heels. Jake's face turned red, and he looked away, clearly flustered. I felt a twisted satisfaction, a dangerous mix of embarrassment and pride. The day wore on in a blur of public exposure, practice, and humiliation. Each glance, each whisper, each acknowledgement chipped away at the remnants of my old self. Every step, every gesture, every word I spoke reinforced the new identity forming within me. By evening, I collapsed in my room, exhausted and trembling. Mom entered quietly, observing me with that piercing gaze that always made me feel naked. "You did wonderfully," she whispered, brushing my hair gently. "Do you see how powerful you are? How much attention you command? The world notices her now, and soon it will only see her." Tears slid down my cheeks, and I realized I was trembling for more than just fatigue. My pride, shame, excitement, and fear had melded into a single, intoxicating emotion. I knew, deep down, that the boy I had been was slipping further away, and I wasn't sure I wanted to stop it. That night, I caught my reflection in the hallway mirror. The girl staring back at me was flawless, delicate, beautiful, commanding attention even in solitude. And beneath it, the faint echo of the boy I had been whispered. "Who are you becoming?" The days that followed blurred into a dizzying rhythm of transformation, exposure, and emotional manipulation. Every morning, Mom greeted me with that same radiant smile, always confident, always commanding, always patient in the cruelest way possible. "You're ready," she said on Monday morning. "Today, we take another step. A step where your old life, the boy you were, begins to fade. Every privilege, every comfort, every identity you thought was yours will start to belong to her now." My stomach turned. Privileges? Identity? What does she mean? She led me to the vanity, where a new outfit awaited. A soft, tight blouse paired with a flowing skirt, delicate stockings, and higher heels than before. My heart pounded, but a strange part of me, deep, forbidden, and thrilling, hungered for it. "Change," Mom instructed. "Take your time. Feel her. Every detail matters." As I dressed, I realized just how much I had already lost. My old casual clothes, my comfort, my independence, all gone. Mom had taken control, shaping not only my body and face, but my entire presence. When I stepped in front of the mirror, I barely recognized myself. The girl staring back had delicate shoulders, soft curves, flushed cheeks, and wide, expressive eyes. My lips were full, painted, and trembling slightly. My legs swayed naturally, hips subtly shifting with every step. "You look perfect," Mom whispered, adjusting a stray strand of hair. "Do you feel it?" I shook my head, unable to answer. Fear, excitement, shame, and desire collided in a storm within me. "Today," she continued, "we venture out, without holding your hand. You will walk the streets, feel the world, and begin forming bonds as her. It's time to see how people respond to her and how you respond to yourself." The words chilled me. Alone? In public? Exposed? But when we stepped outside, the thrill hit me immediately. Heads turned. Whispers floated. Compliments, subtle smiles, and lingering glances pierced me with shame, and something darker, excitement. I realized I craved it, even as I feared it. Mom stayed nearby, a protective shadow and an ever-present reminder of her control. "Do not shrink," she whispered. "Own every glance, every word, every reaction. You are hers now." We stopped at a cafe. The barista greeted me with a warm smile. "Good afternoon, miss. What can I get for you?" The word "miss" hit me harder than I expected. I swallowed, voice trembling. "A cappuccino, please." Mom's eyes glimmered with satisfaction. "See? They recognize her now. Your presence commands respect and admiration. Feel it. Let it sink in." The walk continued, each step reinforcing my new identity. But then came something unexpected, a small bond forming with a stranger, a boy from a nearby table. His name was Ethan. He smiled shyly, struck by curiosity and interest. You look amazing," he said quietly. "I've never seen anyone like you." My cheeks burned. I felt a jolt of both embarrassment and pride. Someone truly saw her. And me. I stammered, voice soft. Teach, thank you. Mom noticed, her lips curling in satisfaction. Do you feel it? She whispered when we were alone. People are drawn to her. She commands attention and emotional response. That is power. That is transformation. As the days continued, Mom began introducing subtle rules. No casual male clothes, every outing must be in feminine attire, speech, gestures, and posture must be monitored, phone, and social interactions curated to reinforce her influence. I realized I was losing control of my old privileges, my old freedoms. Each restriction, each correction, each glance in the mirror reminded me I was becoming hers. And yet, alongside fear and humiliation, a strange, addictive thrill coursed through me. Then came the first emotional breakdown. Alone in my room, exhausted from public exposure and constant monitoring, I collapsed onto the bed, tears spilling down my cheeks. Mom appeared silently, sitting beside me, brushing my hair gently. "Sure, it's okay," she whispered. "I know it's hard, but every tear, every struggle, is part of becoming perfect. And you are perfect. Do you feel it?" I couldn't answer. I was trembling, exhausted, emotionally raw. But the warmth of her hand, the gentle smile, and the soft words created a strange bond, a dependency that terrified me as much as it comforted me. "You are safe with me," she said softly. "You can be vulnerable. You can cry. You can be her, and you will learn to love her. Even more than you remember loving yourself." I clung to her words, shivering. Pride, fear, shame, desire, all tangled together. I realized that the boy I had been was slipping further and further away, and I wasn't sure I wanted him back. That night, I caught my reflection in the mirror. The girl staring back at me was undeniably real. Her eyes, flushed cheeks, and delicate features whispered, "This is who you are now." And somewhere beneath, the faint echo of my old self trembled, whispering, "Who are you becoming, and will you ever return?" The city felt alive that morning, bustling with people, sunlight glinting off shop windows, and the faint hum of distant traffic. I clutched my purse nervously, my hands trembling slightly despite the steadying presence of Mom at my side. Today was different. Today wasn't just a lesson in walking, speaking, or makeup. It was a lesson in attraction and attention, and in the first dangerous spark of emotional connection. Mom smiled at me, her eyes gleaming with authority and satisfaction. "Today," she said softly, brushing a strand of hair behind my ear, "you will learn how to be irresistible, how to command attention, and maybe even affection. Don't be afraid. Let yourself feel it. Let yourself be noticed." I swallowed, heart pounding. Irresistible? Affection? My stomach twisted at the thought. I had already lost so much of my old self. Now I was being pushed into a world of attention, desire, and emotional complexity that I wasn't prepared for. We entered a quaint cafe that was unusually crowded for a mid-morning visit. Mom guided me to a table near the window. I adjusted my skirt nervously, feeling the unfamiliar sway of my hips. My heels clicked softly against the floor, drawing subtle glances from passers-by. And then I saw him, Ethan. The boy I had noticed before, a shy, kind-faced guy who had smiled at me in the cafe the previous week. Today, his eyes met mine, and I felt a jolt run through me. Recognition, curiosity, and something I couldn't name all collided in an intoxicating mix. He stood, approaching the table, cheeks flushed slightly. "Hi. I didn't expect to see you here again," he stammered, voice soft and genuine. I felt my face burn, heart hammering. I opened my mouth to speak, and the soft, melodic voice that had become mine over the past weeks whispered through my lips. "Hi," I managed, fingers clutching the edge of the table. Mom watched from across the cafe, her smile subtle, almost imperceptible. She didn't need to intervene. Her control was already complete. Every step I took, every word I spoke, every glance I offered was under her influence. Ethan sat down, fidgeting slightly, his gaze never leaving me. You look amazing," he whispered. "I mean, you really, wow." The words hit me like lightning. Pride and embarrassment surged through me simultaneously. Part of me wanted to hide, to run, to erase the attention. But another part, the part Mom had been nurturing, thrived on it. A small, dangerous thrill danced in my chest, and I realized I craved it. Mom leaned close, her voice soft in my ear. "Do you feel it? This is power. This is control. And soon it will be yours completely." Ethan laughed nervously, scratching the back of his neck. "I don't mean to be weird. I can't stop looking at you. You're beautiful." My cheeks flushed hotter than ever. The words were intoxicating, addictive. I wanted to retreat, to hide behind the old persona of the shy boy I had been. But the girl staring back at me in the mirror, the girl Mom had created, stood taller, smiled softly, and whispered, "Thank you." The conversation continued, light and playful, yet laced with undercurrents of tension. Every laugh, every glance, every shy brush of fingers against the table heightened the emotional storm inside me. I was falling into a new world, one filled with desire, embarrassment, and dangerous exhilaration. After the cafe, Mom guided me on a short walk through the nearby park. The sun dappled the pathway, casting playful shadows on the ground. Ethan walked beside me, offering subtle compliments, his eyes occasionally locking with mine. Every word, every touch of attention, made my heart race. I realized something terrifying. I was beginning to care. Not just about appearances, not just about attention, but about him. The boy I had noticed before was becoming a focal point for feelings I didn't understand, feelings that conflicted violently with the boy I had been. Mom noticed, of course. Her hand brushed mine briefly, just enough to remind me of her presence and influence. "Good," she whispered. "Feel it. Let the emotions rise. That is where true transformation begins, when desire, attraction, and identity collide." By evening, I returned home physically exhausted, mentally drained, and emotionally raw. The whirlwind of public exposure, Mom's subtle control, and Ethan's innocent attention left me trembling. I knew that the boy I had been was slipping further away, replaced by a girl who felt alive, visible, and dangerously vulnerable. Alone in my room, I stared at my reflection in the mirror. The girl staring back was undeniably real. Soft curves, wide eyes, flushed cheeks, delicate lips. And beneath her, faintly, the boy I had been whispered, "Who are you becoming? Who will you be tomorrow?" Tears slipped down my cheeks. Part of me wanted to resist, to reclaim my old life. But the thrill, the attention, the intoxicating blend of embarrassment and excitement made me pause. Maybe. I don't want to go back. Later that night, I received a message from Ethan. "Can we meet tomorrow? I really want to see you again." The words both thrilled and terrified me. Mom's influence, my new identity, and the first sparks of romance collided in a storm I didn't know how to navigate. And deep down, I realized that my life was no longer my own. It belonged, wholly and dangerously, to her. The evening air was thick with anticipation. Tonight was unlike anything I had experienced, a proper social gathering, a small party hosted by Mom's friend circle. I could feel my stomach knotting with nerves, a mixture of excitement and dread. Every step toward this event reminded me that the world I was entering demanded perfection, attention, and complete surrender. Mom entered my room with a calm, radiant smile, holding a dress that seemed designed to capture every eye in the room. It was elegant, tight at the waist, flaring slightly at the hips, paired with sheer stockings and heels that felt impossibly high. "You are going to be unforgettable tonight," she said softly, brushing my hair back. "Every glance, every smile, every word will reinforce who she is. Remember, this is her world now." I felt a twist of fear in my stomach. Her world? The girl in the mirror stared back at me. Soft curves, flushed cheeks, painted lips, but the faint shadow of the boy I had been lingered beneath. I swallowed hard, trying to steady my trembling hands. The car ride to the party was silent. Mom's hand brushed lightly against mine once or twice, a subtle reminder of her control. Each time, my pulse quickened, my nerves heightening. By the time we arrived, The city lights reflected in her eyes. I could feel the transformation solidifying within me. The door opened to a crowd of elegantly dressed guests. Heads turned instantly as we entered. Whispers floated, some admiring, some curious, but all eyes were on me. Every heartbeat echoed in my chest. Every glance made my cheeks burn. Mom guided me through the room, her presence steady, commanding. "Smile," she whispered. "Posture. Grace. You are hers now." I nodded, trembling, and smiled. The words felt foreign on my lips, but the effect was immediate. Guests whispered, complimented, and subtly stared. I could feel the thrill of attention coursing through me, mixing with fear, embarrassment, and something darker: desire, longing, and dependence. And then recognition. A voice cut through the murmurs, sharp with disbelief. "Wait, is that?" I froze. Across the room, I saw him. Mark, a boy from my school, someone who had once teased and bullied me mercilessly. His jaw dropped, eyes wide, scanning the delicate figure before him. I felt my stomach twist, heat flooding my face. The old instinct to shrink, hide, and run surged violently. But the girl in the mirror, the one Mom had sculpted, stood taller, lifted her chin, and smiled softly. Mom's hand brushed mine, steadying me. "Do not fear," she whispered. "You are perfect. Let him see it. Let the world see her." I took a shaky step forward, heels clicking against the polished floor. Every movement felt hyper-aware, every glance a test of composure. Mark's eyes flicked between recognition and disbelief, lingering on the delicate curve of my hips, the soft line of my shoulders, the painted lips and flushed cheeks. "Wow," he muttered, voice low. You look different." The words stung and thrilled in equal measure. Part of me wanted to scream, to flee, to erase the attention. But another part, deep, secret, dangerous, throbbed with excitement. I realized I craved this recognition, this collision of fear and admiration. Mom guided me through the crowd, introducing me to her friends. Every handshake, every compliment, every subtle brush of attention made my cheeks burn and my pulse race. The humiliation of exposure mingled with the intoxicating thrill of being noticed, being admired, being seen. Then came Ethan. His eyes found mine across the room, and a smile curved his lips. My heart leapt. Despite the chaos, the attention, and the recognition from my past, I felt a small anchor in his gaze, a connection that felt real, tangible, and dangerous. Mom noticed, of course. Her hand brushed mine lightly, a subtle assertion of control. "Do you feel it?" she whispered. "The world sees her now. Every glance, every word, every thought belongs to her. And soon, you will belong completely." By the end of the evening, I was physically exhausted, emotionally raw, and mentally overwhelmed. The attention, the recognition, the exposure, it had all combined into a whirlwind that left me trembling in Mom's presence. Alone in my room that night, I stared at the mirror. The girl staring back was undeniably real, soft, delicate, commanding attention effortlessly. And beneath her, the faint echo of the boy I had been whispered. "Who are you becoming? Who will see you tomorrow, and who will you be by then?" Later that night, a message lit up my phone from Ethan. "I can't stop thinking about you. Can we meet again soon?" The words sent a thrill through me, and a surge of fear. My identity, my freedom, my past, all slipping further away under Mom's influence and the intoxicating pull of admiration, attention, and desire. The morning of the pageant arrived like a storm, charged with tension and anticipation. I awoke with a strange mixture of dread and exhilaration. Today, I would be the center of attention, not just at a party, not just in a cafe, but on a stage, under lights, with dozens of eyes scrutinizing every detail. My heartbeat thundered in my chest. Mom entered my room with a calm, commanding smile, holding the outfit for the day, a sparkling, form-fitting dress that emphasized every curve she had meticulously nurtured, paired with stockings and sky-high heels that made my legs feel impossibly long. "You are ready," she said softly, brushing a strand of hair from my face. Today, the world will see her. Every movement, every glance, every word will be observed.
You are hers now.
Own it. I nodded, swallowing hard. The girl in the mirror stared back, soft cheeks, wide eyes, full lips, delicate curves. And beneath her, the boy I had been trembled faintly, whispering, "Who are you now?" The drive to the venue was silent. Mom's presence was a constant anchor, her hand brushing mine lightly, reminding me of control and expectation. When we arrived, the sheer size of the hall, the bright lights, and the crowd waiting made my stomach twist. This wasn't just a lesson, it was a trial, a public test of transformation. Backstage, women and girls of all ages flitted about, adjusting dresses, applying makeup, and practicing poses. I felt completely out of place, my nerves threatening to unravel me. Mom guided me to a mirror. Stand tall.
Posture. Confidence.
Remember, she is perfect. You will be perfect. Hours passed in a blur of rehearsals, makeup touch-ups, and practice walks. Every step in the heels was a test. Every glance in the mirror reminded me that my old self was fading. My reflection, once boyish, now radiated delicate femininity, commanding attention even in quiet moments. The moment of truth came. The lights went up, and the announcer called my name. My heart pounded so violently, I thought it might burst. I stepped onto the stage, the crowd's eyes piercing me like fire. Whispers floated through the air, some admiring, some curious, some incredulous. I walked, carefully balancing in heels, every step a blend of grace and terror. The applause that followed each segment of the runway was intoxicating, a heady mix of validation and humiliation. I realized that every glance, every cheer, every whisper was reshaping me further, erasing the boy I had been. And then came the first emotional breaking point. During a brief pause, someone from my past, Mark, was in the audience. His eyes widened in shock and disbelief as he took in my delicate form, the painted lips, the flushed cheeks, the confident sway of my hips. I felt a mix of fear, shame, and a dangerous thrill. Part of me wanted to flee. Part of me wanted to be admired, even by him. Mom noticed the moment, her hand resting lightly on my back. "Do not falter," she whispered. "You are perfect. Every reaction matters. Own it." I nodded, taking a deep breath, and continued. The stage, the lights, the audience, all became part of the transformation, a crucible forging me into her completely. Each step, each glance, each word of encouragement from Mom solidified the girl I was becoming. After the pageant, we returned home physically exhausted, emotionally raw, and mentally drained. The combination of public exposure, Mom's subtle but unyielding control, and recognition from my past left me trembling. Alone in my room, I caught my reflection in the mirror. The girl staring back was flawless, soft curves, flushed cheeks, delicate eyes that seemed to hold the attention of anyone who looked at her. And beneath her, the faint echo of the boy I had been whispered, fragile and fading. "Who are you becoming, and can you ever return?" Later that night, Ethan sent a message. "I saw you at the pageant. I can't stop thinking about you. We need to talk." The words stirred a whirlwind of emotions: fear, excitement, desire, and shame. My identity, Mom's control, and the intoxicating pull of attention were now dangerously entwined. And deep down, I knew that each new step only drew me further from the boy I had been. The house was quiet that night, the soft hum of the city outside like a distant heartbeat. I sat on my bed, trembling slightly, phone in hand. Ethan's message from earlier still glowed on the screen. "I saw you at the pageant. I can't stop thinking about you. We need to talk." My heart hammered in my chest, a mix of excitement, fear, and shame. Part of me longed to respond immediately, to connect, to feel desired. But another part, the boy I had been, whispered caution, panic, and confusion. Mom entered quietly, her presence immediately grounding and terrifying. She had that radiant, commanding smile, and the way her eyes lingered on me made my pulse quicken. "You've had a long day," she said softly, brushing a strand of hair behind my ear. "And now, it's time to speak the truth. To me and to yourself." I swallowed hard, trying to steady my voice. I don't know who I am anymore." Her smile widened, a mixture of pride and control.
Exactly.
"That's where transformation begins. You've let go of your old self, even slightly. You feel it, don't you? The thrill, the attention, the power of being her?" Tears welled in my eyes. I feel it, but I'm scared. I don't know if I like it or hate it. Every time someone looks at me, I feel exposed, but I can't stop wanting it." Mom knelt beside me, gently cupping my face. "That's natural," she whispered. "Fear, desire, shame, pride, they all exist together. That is the beauty of transformation. And remember, I am here, always, to guide you, to protect you, to shape you." Her words wrapped around me like a warm, intoxicating blanket. I wanted to argue, to resist, to reclaim the boy I had been. Yet every touch, every whisper, every gaze reminded me that I was slipping further into her world. I think I like him," I admitted finally, voice barely a whisper. "Ethan, he makes me feel normal, I guess. But the girl, she wants something else. Something more." Mom's eyes sparkled with satisfaction.
Exactly.
"That is the struggle, the tension. The boy you were and the girl you are becoming, they conflict. But conflict is growth. Conflict is power. And soon desire will choose its side." I buried my face in my hands, shivering. The emotional storm inside me was uncontrollable. Desire, embarrassment, fear, excitement, shame, longing, all clashing together like waves in a tempest. Mom stroked my hair gently, whispering, "You are perfect." Every tear, every shiver, every tremble is part of her. And soon, she will be all that remains. I felt a strange sense of surrender. Not defeat, not submission, but a dizzying mixture of safety and danger, pleasure and humiliation, fear and thrill. I realized that I had already begun to forget the boy I had been. Every glance in the mirror, every word from Mom, every interaction with Ethan, the pieces of my old identity were slipping further away. And yet, deep down, a faint voice whispered, "Who am I really? And who will I be when the world sees me next?" The night wore on, and sleep came fitfully, haunted by images of the pageant, Ethan's smile, Mom's unwavering control, and my own reflection in the mirror. The girl staring back at me was undeniably real. Soft curves, flushed cheeks, delicate eyes, a trembling mouth that now spoke in a voice both foreign and intoxicating. And the boy I had been was fading, slowly, irrevocably. The next morning, Ethan arrived at the door. His eyes held hope, curiosity, and something deeper. I froze, heels clicking softly against the floor. Mom's hand rested lightly on my shoulder. "Go," she whispered. "Let him see her and let yourself feel it." The knock on the door echoed through the quiet house, each sound reverberating in my chest. I froze, heart hammering, cheeks flushing.
Ethan.
He was here, at my door, in the same world as me, looking at me. Mom's hand brushed lightly against my shoulder, steadying me. Her eyes gleamed with that calm, commanding intensity one had grown to both fear and crave. "Go," she whispered softly. "Let him see her, and let yourself feel it. This is your moment." I swallowed hard, legs trembling, and opened the door. Ethan stood there, slightly awkward, nervous, yet undeniably drawn to me. His eyes scanned me, lingering on the delicate curves, flushed cheeks, painted lips, and the soft sway of my hips. You look amazing," he breathed, voice soft, awestruck. I felt my face heat up, heart pounding violently. Part of me wanted to retreat, hide, erase the attention. But another part, the girl I had become, thrilled at his gaze, craving the validation, the closeness, the subtle danger of desire. "Thank you," I whispered, voice trembling. He stepped closer, hesitant yet deliberate. I've been thinking about you since the pageant. I can't stop wondering how you really feel inside. The words hit me like a lightning bolt. Fear, excitement, shame, and longing collided in a storm I couldn't control. I wanted to tell him the truth, the chaos within me, but Mom's influence weighed heavily, guiding, shaping, controlling my every thought. I don't know, I admitted softly. I feel so many things. I'm not sure who I am anymore. Ethan reached out, taking my hand gently. The touch sent shivers up my spine, warmth and desire mingling with terror. It's okay, he said softly. I don't care about labels. I just care about you. Mom's hand rested lightly on my back, a silent reminder of her presence and control. Do you feel it? She whispered. The tension, the desire, the vulnerability? That is where true transformation lives. That is where she will emerge completely. I nodded weakly, trembling, heart racing. Ethan's eyes held hope and curiosity, a dangerous mix that drew me closer even as fear surged. He leaned slightly, and I felt the faintest brush of his lips against my cheek, a tentative, innocent kiss that ignited every nerve in my body. My mind spun. Desire, embarrassment, fear, and longing collided, leaving me breathless. I could feel the girl I had become responding, thriving on attention, intimacy, and validation. Yet the boy I had been whispered faintly, confused and panicked. What are you doing? Who are you really? Mom's presence was both comforting and terrifying. She whispered softly, almost inaudibly. Every emotion, every tremble, every blush is part of her. Let it guide you. Let it transform you. Ethan's hand lingered, brushing mine, tracing the curve of my fingers. My pulse surged, cheeks burning, body trembling. I realized with a start, I wanted this, even as I feared it. I wanted his attention, his touch, his words. I wanted to feel desired, vulnerable, and alive. Hours passed in a haze of conversation, laughter, and subtle touches. Every word, every glance, every heartbeat was a test, a measure of my transformation. I realized I was losing the boy I had been, step by step, moment by moment, replaced by the girl who now craved attention, intimacy, and validation. By the end of the evening, I was physically exhausted, emotionally raw, and mentally overwhelmed. Ethan had left with a promise to see me again, leaving me alone with Mom, who observed me with a satisfied, knowing smile. You did well, she whispered, brushing my hair gently. Every blush, every tremble, every moment of desire belongs to her. And soon, she will belong completely to the world and to herself. Alone in my room, I stared at the mirror. The girl staring back was undeniably real. Soft curves, flushed cheeks, delicate lips, and eyes that sparkled with a dangerous mix of desire and vulnerability. And beneath her, the faint echo of the boy I had been whispered. Who are you really? And will you ever return? The next morning, a package arrived, a new dress, higher heels, and a note from Mom. Tomorrow, you face the ultimate test, the charity gala. She will be seen by everyone. Perfect her, and she will never be the same. The words sent a thrill and panic surging through me. My identity, my emotions, my desires, all teetered on the edge of irreversible transformation. The charity gala was unlike anything I had ever imagined. The grand ballroom sparkled with chandeliers, crystal glasses reflected soft candlelight, and elegantly dressed guests mingled, laughter and chatter filling the vast space. Tonight, I was no longer just a girl in the shadows. I was the centerpiece of attention, carefully sculpted by Mom to radiate beauty, poise, and grace. Mom entered my room holding the gown she had chosen for me, a sleek, deep red evening dress that hugged my curves, paired with sparkling heels and delicate jewelry. She smiled, her eyes alight with anticipation. You are perfect, she whispered, brushing a strand of hair behind my ear. Tonight, everyone will see her. Every glance, every whisper, Every compliment will belong to her. And to you. I nodded, heart hammering. The girl in the mirror, soft curves, glowing cheeks, painted lips, stared back at me. Beneath her, a faint echo of the boy I had been whispered. Who are you now?
Who will you be tonight?
The drive to the gala was silent, the city lights reflecting in Mom's eyes like a mirror of control. Every brush of her hand against mine, every subtle touch, reminded me of the power she held and the girl I was becoming. As we entered the ballroom, the effect was immediate. Heads turned. Whispers floated across the room. Compliments, subtle glances, and lingering stares pierced me with a mixture of fear, embarrassment, and a thrilling, dangerous desire. I felt my pulse quicken, cheeks burning, legs trembling in the high heels. Mom guided me through the crowd, her presence both comforting and commanding. Smile, she whispered.
Posture. Grace.
Every reaction matters. Own her. I tried, trembling slightly, and the effect was undeniable. Guests whispered, complimented, and subtly stared. I realized, with a shiver, that I craved it. Every glance, every word, every subtle attention from strangers fueled a dangerous thrill deep inside me. And then I saw him, Ethan, standing near the grand piano, eyes widening in awe as they landed on me. My heart leapt. Despite the chaos, the attention, and the scrutiny, he was my anchor, my connection to something real, something safe, and yet forbidden. He approached, hesitant, and whispered, You look incredible." My cheeks burned. "Teach, thank you," I whispered back, voice soft and trembling. Mom watched from nearby, her eyes gleaming with satisfaction. "Do you feel it?" she whispered. "This is her world now. Every glance, every thought, every heartbeat belongs to her. And soon, it will belong to you completely." The night progressed in a blur of speeches, photo opportunities, and subtle social tests. Every movement, every word, every glance from the crowd was a reminder of how far I had come, and how much of the boy I had been was slipping away. Then came the ultimate test. A local reporter approached me, camera flashing. "We'd love a few words from tonight's star," she said, smiling brightly. My heart nearly stopped. This was not a private moment. This was public, exposure at the highest level. Mom's hand rested lightly on my shoulder, guiding me.
"Speak."
"Smile. Be her," she whispered. I took a deep breath, voice trembling slightly, and smiled. I'm honored to be here tonight," I said, carefully modulating my voice. It's been an incredible experience." The crowd responded with polite applause, some guests whispering compliments, others staring in admiration. I felt a dizzying mixture of pride, embarrassment, and intoxicating thrill. The girl I had become was commanding attention, controlling reactions, and slowly erasing the boy I had been. Ethan's hand found mine amidst the crowd, a subtle anchor in the storm. "You're amazing," he whispered. I can't believe this is you." My heart raced, cheeks burning, body trembling. The thrill, the fear, the desire, the humiliation, it all collided, leaving me breathless. Mom leaned close, whispering in my ear, "Do you feel it? The power, the attention, the surrender? This is the pinnacle. And tomorrow she will be complete." Later that night, alone in my room, I caught my reflection in the mirror. The girl staring back was flawless, soft curves, delicate lips, glowing eyes. And beneath her, the faint whisper of the boy I had been trembled. "Who are you now, and will you ever return?" A final note from Mom lay on the dresser. "Tomorrow, we cement everything. Be ready to surrender fully. She will own you, and the world will see her." The morning sunlight filtered softly through the curtains, casting a warm glow over my room. I sat on the edge of the bed, trembling slightly, heart pounding with a mix of fear, anticipation, and something dangerously intoxicating. Today, Mom had promised, everything would change. Today, the transformation would be complete, not just in appearance, but in identity, in submission, and in emotional surrender. Mom entered the room with a calm, radiant smile, holding a tray of items meticulously chosen for the final step, the most delicate lingerie, the highest heels, a sparkling evening gown, and a carefully selected set of accessories that would complete the illusion. "You are ready," she whispered, her voice soft yet commanding. "Today, she will emerge fully. Every touch, every word, every glance will seal her identity, and the boy you were will fade forever." I swallowed hard, legs trembling, hands clutching the edge of the bed. The girl in the mirror, soft curves, flushed cheeks, delicate lips, stared back at me. And beneath her, the faint echo of the boy I had been trembled weakly, whispering, "Who am I now? Who will I be when she is complete?" Mom guided me through the process, step by step. The lingerie was first, delicate lace that clung to my body, emphasizing every curve she had nurtured. My fingers shook as I adjusted it, feeling the unfamiliar but intoxicating sensation against my skin. Next came the heels. Each step was a test, a reminder of balance, grace, and poise. I stumbled slightly, cheeks burning, but Mom's hand steadied me. "Every movement matters," she whispered. "Every step reinforces her. Own it." The gown followed, deep red, form-fitting, sparkling subtly in the sunlight. I stepped into it, feeling the weight of transformation settle around me. Mom adjusted every detail, brushing a strand of hair behind my ear, applying a final touch of makeup. "You are perfect," she whispered, her eyes gleaming with satisfaction. "Now, feel it. Own it. Be her completely." I looked into the mirror. The girl staring back was undeniably real, soft curves, glowing cheeks, delicate lips, sparkling eyes. And beneath her, the faint whisper of the boy I had been trembled, fading with each passing second. Mom guided me to the living room, where a small audience awaited, just us, yet enough to test my full emotional surrender. She handed me a mirror, urging me to look deep into my own eyes. "See her," she said softly. "Not the boy, not the past. She is everything now. Every thought, every emotion, every desire belongs to her. And she belongs to you." I trembled, tears spilling down my cheeks. Fear, excitement, humiliation, and longing collided violently. I wanted to resist, to reclaim the boy I had been. But the girl in the mirror, the one Mom had created, throbbed with life, anticipation, and desire. Ethan arrived at the precise moment, eyes widening as they took in the fully transformed girl before him. His voice was soft, awed. You look perfect." My heart raced, cheeks burning. Every nerve in my body was alive with emotion. Every glance, every word, every touch heightened the sensation of complete surrender. I realized with a shiver that I craved this, his attention, Mom's control, and the intoxicating thrill of losing myself completely. Mom whispered softly in my ear, "Do you feel it? The surrender? The power? The attention? She is complete. And now she belongs fully to the world, to desire, and to herself." I collapsed into the couch, trembling, emotionally raw. The girl I had become was alive, vibrant, commanding attention effortlessly. The boy I had been was gone, replaced by a new identity, soft, delicate, submissive, yet intoxicatingly powerful in her own right. Ethan stepped closer, brushing my hair gently. You're amazing."
I
can't believe this is you." I closed my eyes, trembling, feeling a dangerous mix of fear, desire, and exhilaration. I whispered softly, barely audible. I think I'm hers now. I'm her." Mom's hand rested lightly on my shoulder, and for the first time, I felt complete, lost, transformed, and irrevocably changed. That night, a mirror reflection stared back at me, sparkling eyes, flushed cheeks, delicate lips. A faint whisper echoed inside. "Who am I now, and who will see me tomorrow?" Mom's voice lingered softly. "The world is yours now, but she belongs completely. Remember that." The following days blurred together like a waking dream. I moved through life not as the boy I had been, but as the girl Mom had meticulously created: soft curves, glowing skin, delicate lips, and a presence that drew attention wherever I went. Each step, each glance, each word reinforced my new identity, solidifying the transformation into something real, undeniable, and irreversible. Mom had taken careful control of every detail. My wardrobe was curated, my makeup perfected, my hair styled to perfection each morning. She guided me through every interaction, teaching me to walk, speak, and move like the girl I had become. Every detail matters, she reminded softly. Every reaction reinforces her. She is you now, and you belong to her completely. Even in the simplest public outings, shopping, walking through the mall, stopping for coffee, I felt the weight of attention. Strangers glanced, complimented, and sometimes stared. Each look made my heart race, my cheeks flush, my mind reel. Part of me longed to hide, to retreat, to reclaim the boy I had been. But another part, delicate, intoxicating, and alive, thrived on the attention. Ethan continued to be my anchor. His gaze, filled with awe and desire, followed me everywhere. Every message, every call, every meeting strengthened my connection to him and simultaneously tested my surrender to the girl I had become. "You're incredible," he whispered one afternoon as we walked through a boutique. I've never seen anyone like you." I blushed, heart racing, and for a moment, felt the intoxicating thrill of being admired, desired, and recognized. Mom's hand on my shoulder reminded me of her influence, her control, and her guidance. "Do you feel it?" she whispered softly. "Every glance, every thought, every heartbeat belongs to her. And she belongs to you. Remember that." Public recognition intensified when I attended social gatherings. Friends of Mom, neighbors, and even casual acquaintances treated me as the girl I had become, often forgetting, or never realizing, the boy I had once been. Compliments flowed freely. "You're so beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Who did your makeup? You look flawless." Each word pierced me with a mix of embarrassment, pride, and thrilling exhilaration. Yet amidst the attention, a faint whisper of doubt lingered. Who am I really? And what will happen if someone from my past discovers me? One afternoon, walking through a crowded street, I froze. Across the street, a familiar figure stared, eyes widening in recognition. It was Mark, the boy who had tormented me at school. His gaze flicked between disbelief and curiosity as he took in the delicate girl before him, the soft curves, the flushed cheeks, the perfectly styled hair. My body trembled. Part of me wanted to vanish, to escape. But another part, the girl I had become, stood taller, lifted her chin, and smiled. She had learned the power of attention, the intoxicating thrill of admiration, and the subtle dominance of presence. Mom's hand brushed mine, steadying me. "Do not falter," she whispered. "You are perfect. Let the world see her. Let him see her. Let everyone see her. She is real, and she belongs completely." By the end of the day, exhaustion and exhilaration mingled. I returned home, gazing into the mirror. The girl staring back was undeniably real, soft, delicate, radiant, and intoxicatingly alive. And beneath her, the faint echo of the boy I had been whispered, weak and fading. "Who am I, really?" Later that night, a message appeared on my phone from Ethan. "Everyone is talking about you. You're mesmerizing. Can we meet?" The words sent a thrill and panic surging through me. My identity, Mom's control, and the intoxicating pull of attention were now inseparable. And deep down, I knew that each passing day drew me further from the boy I had once been. The morning sun poured through the curtains, warming the room and casting a golden glow over the world I now inhabited. I sat on the edge of the bed, heart pounding, mind spinning with the events of the past weeks that had reshaped me, redefined me, and slowly erased the boy I had once been. Mom entered with her usual calm, radiant presence, holding a carefully wrapped package, a gift for the culmination of my transformation. She smiled softly, eyes gleaming with pride and satisfaction. "You are complete," she whispered. "Every step, every glance, every emotion has led you here. Today, you embrace her fully. Today, she belongs completely to the world, to desire, and to herself." I swallowed hard, trembling. The girl in the mirror stared back, soft curves, glowing cheeks, delicate lips, sparkling eyes. And beneath her, the faint echo of the boy I had been whispered weakly, hesitant, uncertain. "Who am I now, and what will I do?" Mom guided me through the final preparation. Perfect hair, flawless makeup, the most elegant dress yet. Every detail, every brush, every touch reinforced her control, her influence, and the inevitable surrender. I felt exposed, vulnerable, and yet thrillingly alive. The moment of truth came when Ethan arrived. His eyes widened in awe as he took in the fully transformed girl before him. His voice trembled slightly as he whispered, You are perfect. I've never seen anyone like you." I felt my cheeks flush, heart racing, body trembling with a mix of fear, desire, and exhilaration. For the first time, I allowed myself to embrace the girl I had become. The boy I had been was gone, fading, silent, irrelevant. Mom's hand rested lightly on my shoulder, grounding me. "Do you feel it?" she whispered. "The surrender, the power, the attention. She is real. She is you, and she belongs completely." Ethan reached out, brushing my hand gently. I want to be with her, with you. All of you," he said softly. Tears filled my eyes, a mixture of relief, longing, and happiness. I realized I wanted this too, the attention, the desire, the validation, and the intoxicating thrill of being fully her. I am her," I whispered, voice trembling but resolute. I am hers. I am me and she is me." Mom smiled, softly brushing my hair. "And the world will see her now. You belong to yourself, to desire, and to the life you have chosen. She is complete." The following weeks were a whirlwind of attention, validation, and daily life fully embraced as the girl I had become. Public recognition, admiration, and even romantic interest from Ethan cemented my identity. Every glance, every compliment, every subtle whisper reinforced the reality. I was no longer the boy I had been. I was her. There were moments of doubt, fleeting and fragile, when a memory of the past would surface. But each time, the girl in the mirror, Mom's guidance, and Ethan's admiration grounded me, reassuring me that the transformation was real, irreversible, and wholly mine. Finally, one quiet evening, I sat before the mirror, gazing at my reflection. The girl staring back was soft, radiant, delicate, and alive. And for the first time, I felt peace. The boy I had been was gone, replaced by someone stronger, more confident, and undeniably captivating. Mom entered, smiling softly. "You are perfect," she said. "And now, the world knows her. You have embraced her fully. This is your life, your identity, your desire. Own it." I nodded, tears spilling down my cheeks. I do. I am her. I am me. And I love it." The final reflection in the mirror showed the girl fully transformed, radiant, confident, and commanding. Ethan's message buzzed softly on my phone. "I can't wait to see you again. She is perfect." The world awaited, and I stepped into it fully, irrevocably, and beautifully her.